इतना सा फर्क है एक बार सोच के छोड़ देने में और लग के कर दिखाने में। मान लेने में कि जिंदगी ऐसे ही कटेगी और सुबह 4 बजे उठ के सोचने में कि अभी तो बस शुरुआत है। किसी मैगजीन को हाथ में लेने में और उसी मैगजीन के कवर पेज पे होने में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वीआईपी सीट में और उसकी पिछली सीट में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वो जिसका मैदान ही खुला आसमान है, वही कल जमीन पर तो था। पूछोगे तो बताएगा वो पंछी, ये एक दायरे में सिमटने में और पूरी दुनिया को दायरा बनाने में बस इतना सा फर्क है। इतना कितना है? इतना है या इतना है? जो नापेगा वो जाने कि जहां धरती और आसमान मिलते हैं, नानकुर से दूर, अगर मगर शायद से दूर, वहां भी दोनों में फर्क बस इतना सा है। धरती और 7वें आसमान में फर्क बस इतना सा। ये एक अंतर प्रेरणा है। ये हमारी, आपकी, हम सब की अंतर प्रेरणा है। एक कदम, एक छलांग, एक बाजी, एक गहरी सांस और एक ललकार खुली हवाओं में कि हाँ मैं बना हूं उन फिजाओं के लिए, कि हाँ मैं बना हूं उन ऊंचाइयों के लिए जो ऊंची तो बहुत है पर नामुमकिन भी नहीं, क्योंकि मुमकिन और नामुमकिन में बस इतना सा फर्क है। धूप छांव में फर्क बस इतना सा। तो बस चलिए फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया के साथ ये फर्क मिटा देते हैं। फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया, 20 years of ideas.
A very good afternoon to all the dear friends. We, the entire team of Franchise India, welcome all of you to our digital webinar, Business Opportunity Over Chai. This is a specifically designed webinar for all our investors so that they digitally interact with the brand and the business opportunity we have got for you. It's a 45-minute session, which is divided into 2 parts. First, we will invite our brand founder, directors, and the leadership team to talk about their vision, mission, and a dream of this particular brand with the help of the PPT. Then we'll move towards a panel discussion. We have specifically created the question and answer box for all of you to share your queries as well as feedback in question and answer box. So we request you to please make this session very interactive by sharing your lots of queries with us, which our panel member would be taking during the panel discussion. We welcome management team of Franchise India, Gaurav sir and Sonia ma'am. During the webinar, they'll be sharing their insights about this particular business opportunity and they'll take all your queries. And the business opportunity which we are bringing, and rather we are representing for all of you, is Mad & Co. Yes, the brand which has established a well-known name in the bubble tea vertical. And today we have invited the founder, Mr. Abhishek, who started his journey in 2019 in India with Mad & Go. This story is very specific because he has returned to India after working in international market, but that was his dream to start this particular business. He was supported by his wife, Shruti. So first, before I invite Abhishek to talk about this business opportunity, we have a very, very beautiful video on this particular brand, which we will run. And then probably Abhishek, I'm sure you must be sure to talk about your dream and your this particular brand. So thank you so much, Kanika. Now I invite Abhishek. Abhishek, over to you.
Thank you. I'll just start my screen as well. So yeah, guys, as you know, Abhishek Madagala, founder of Smart & Co. Sorry, I think my screen is kind of stuck. Second.
Abhishek, if you need any help, I can start my screen in case you need it.
You guys can see my screen, right?
Yeah, we can. We have to just go for a full screen.
Yes.
No, that you are increasing the size. Let me share my screen. Just allow me.
No, it's just that it's vertical. Sure. Perfect. So yeah, guys, as you've already seen the video, we give branding really important. I mean, that's the core philosophy of Smart & Co. We've been inspired, from brands like Apple, Red Bull, Playboy, Nike, to build the kind of brand tone on brand language we've been using. And especially, I think in India, most of the brands directly sell products, but not brands. So we decided first to create an amazing brand where our young population of India can be attracted towards a brand or culture. And then obviously we gave amazing importance to the product as well. So I think, yeah, we can go to the next slide. So yeah, basically as as we came back to India, we tried understanding the Indian market and were brainstorming on different ideas on where to start. And we've seen beverages have evolved in India to a very huge scale. Now you can find a 10 rupees chai to 400 rupees Starbucks coffee. So after looking at such a huge market in India, we decided we'll bring an alternative to the beverage market in India, especially focusing on the cold part of the market. And that's how we decided to introduce bubble tea to the Indian market. So yeah, we can go next. So yeah, especially about the bubble tea, it's basically from Taiwan. It was born in Taiwan. And it transited across the globe, especially Southeast Asia. Now it's becoming a mainstream product in Europe and US as well. As you go, you find different formats of bubble tea in all these countries, like how you find different formats of any food anywhere. So bubble tea is not just a product, but it's a product line having several formats in terms of the product. And yeah, we can go to the next slide. Yeah, so basically, bubble tea, to broadly tell you, it's a combination of three different things. That is, a tea base, tapioca pearls, and few other elements which can be customized as per a market or area or preference. And that's how basically bubble tea is made. It's generally 500 ml in size. What we serve is exactly the international size. We follow the international brands like Chatime, Gongcha, Koida, different brands like that. So we've been doing the same here as well. And yeah, next slide. So yeah, to give you a little more idea on our menu, we have given a lot of importance to the product line we set up in our menu. As me and my wife traveled across Southeast Asia, I think we spent almost 4.5 months backpacking and trying the drinks, understanding the formats of bubble tea in the international market, meeting manufacturers to understand the different raw materials or machinery used behind this. So as we did all the R&D and came back to India, we made sure to pick star runners from different countries to set up in one menu. So you would see our bubble teas are one of a category is from Taiwan, which is specially made with a flavor and a tea decoction. Again, we have our angle teas or cheese teas, which were inspired from Thailand, where it is more of fun drinks. And again, if you go to China, it's morely about fruit teas, any fruit with tea decoction. Again, it's all different teas from oolong to Earl Grey to buckwheat, different teas. So we have picked drinks from different countries and curated in one menu. And as you guys know now, Indians are everywhere in the world, so they're exposed to all these different formats. So that's how we have many possibilities or many names put in one menu. And as you know, we can go to the next slide. And as you know, now India has every cuisine, I think, in the world. It is so surprising, even if you pull up Swiggy with your home location and look up the cuisines which are serving around you, you'll be amazed, from continental to Italian to Japanese to Vietnamese, you name any cuisine. So I think we have that global palette because of so much population living abroad or working abroad or traveling abroad. And at the same time, if you've seen over the years how our Indian palette evolved, especially in terms of customization of any food or drink. Now, people choose to customize whether it's non-dairy, dairy, soy milk, almond, or different parts of the food. So that's how we also curated our menu to the Indian market. You can go next. Yeah, here you'll understand more numbers about the bubble tea market from the world and India. In the next slide, you'll see the market size. Can we go next? So basically, it's a 3.2 billion market. You can't believe when you travel Southeast Asia, how many bubble tea brands you see. It's like every corner of every street serving a different format of bubble tea, from as cheap as 60 baht to 120 baht. In Thailand, there's so many options or sizes, and yeah, this shows you the market size. And comparing to India, we have a huge cold beverage market as well. If you even look at our peers like Caventer's, Drunken Monkey, Frozen Bottle, Thick Shake Factory, makers of milkshake, they're everywhere in India with a huge market size, and this is going to be an alternative or a new age drink compared to all our peers. We'll go to the next slide, and you'll see yeah, again, it'll take you. So here it's me and my wife, Shruti Rantala, who's the co-founder of the brand. So basically, we were into IT, living in the US. I think we lived in close to 8 cities in the US, from Midwest to Northeast. I think being foodies, doing our masters there and working there, I think all we did was understand the culture and food all over US. And I only imagined we living the American dream. But as we spent years, we realized American dream is no more real. And as we started looking for new land opportunities, then we realized, I think India is the new American dream. We believed in the Indian dream, and here we are in front of you right now, presenting what we have built in the last two years or 2.5 years. And in the next slide, you'll see. Go next. Yeah, so again, this gives you a little background on how we started the journey from US, coming back to India, traveling again Southeast Asia, coming back from finishing an R&D trip and coming back to India. So basically, we had to work in stores to get the product understanding. We can go to the next slide. So yeah, as we came back to India, we started building the brand Mad & Co. And we started to test kitchen as well. And we started inviting a lot of food bloggers, a lot of food groups in Hyderabad to do our tasting session. And parallelly, we did a lot of research on the Indian market about building brand, the franchising market, the financial models. And we did integrate a lot of technology, automation, processes, and the right team to build Mad & Co. And that's how the whole journey started. And we can go next. I think it'll take you through our packaging and the cups. We can go next. So here you'll see our packaging bags. So basically, we, as you already heard, we take branding very seriously on how we design and brand. So we don't want to be really called as a bubble tea brand. So we bring in a design language which attracts the biggest population of India, that's youth. So you would see every time we come up with different artistic work on our packaging bags and unique shapes as well. But at the same time, we keep sustainability at our core. So even if you see the next slide, you'll see our packaging bags are 100% recyclable, reusable, 100% food grade. As you go to the next slide, you'll see our different prints of packaging bags. And can you once share my screen here? These are cups which we designed uniquely for Mad & Co. You would not find these cups anywhere in India. And believe me, we even have industrial design rights on this cup. I think it took close to 9 months for us to build these cups. They're close to 1300 microns, and it's 100% recyclable or 100% reusable. Here, I'll take a few seconds and take you through our Instagram page. Can I share the screen once, Archana? I see my screen is disabled. I think Archana, can I share my screen once?
Abhishek, now you can share.
Yeah, I got the option.
Because, yeah.
Let me know once you guys see my screen.
Yes, we can see.
So here you'll see the real pictures from our Instagram. This is how our drinks will look like. These are posts from our followers posted on Instagram. So there's the cup size. Generally, they're 500 ml in size. And I'll show you a few pictures. This is how our packaging bags will look like. Yeah, we have a concept of madness into every element we do. So yeah, basically from here, I'll take you through the franchisee model and the systems or automation behind our brand. If you guys have seen the movie Founder as well, you'd see in McDonald's, they have something called Speedy System, where they design kitchen layout considering the speed of delivery. And even we thought it's very important for us to bring Speedy System into Mad & Co. And I think it's an edge in the market. We generally make our drinks in 90 seconds. We would only touch the raw material after we receive an order. So we have a layout which has certain automation tools which bring in speed and consistency, and at the same time will make you do the drinks in 90 seconds, and which have very simple SOPs. At the same time, we follow lean SKUs where we don't really put in hundreds of SKUs in each store, very limited, but still you'll be able to do different versions of bubble tea. And at the same time, we follow a zero wastage, and I'll tell you how it's possible in the coming slides. And speciality with our drink, where no other product line in the Indian market is offering is, if you look at the cold beverage segment, it's specially shades, right? They're generally very sweet in taste. You can't really control your sugar level. You can't choose dairy or non-dairy. With our drinks, you can basically customize different elements of the drink, whether it's dairy, non-dairy, low fat, vegan, cold. You can even control your temperature and at the same time sweetness levels. So whenever you order a drink with us, our default sugar level is 50%, but at the same time, as you try 1 or 2 times, you can even go to 0% or even go to 100% sugar level next time. And we believe we are a true food tech. We'll tell you how it all makes sense. I think COVID has been a kind of blessing in disguise for us. For the 1.5 years, while we hadn't really had an open market to expand or build the business, we were looking at the back end of our company and trying to incorporate and build the technology which will help as we scale around India. I think that is the confidence we have now to present to you guys or even going forward. So we have coined a word called operational intelligence, like AI, ML, artificial intelligence or machine learning. We call it OI. If you ask Mardenko, all we tell you is we won't supply raw material or cost of goods sold. We call it OI. We service you on OI. So I'll tell you what OI does. It's more like we are with you even after you take a franchisee. It'll feel like franchisee-owned company operated, but it's franchisee operated. So we bring in that technology in place. I'll tell you, for example, about training, right? Most of the brands, they train you in the initial stage of selling the franchisee, and after that you would have to pay money again if you want to get trained. But we have an online platform where we have live sessions, recorded sessions, different help for a franchisee owner throughout their lifetime to keep asking their manager or staff to keep going back to that portal to upgrade their skills. So it's basically a continuous training program throughout the lifetime of the franchisee. And we follow a concept called Dujor menu. It's a Japanese concept. If you look at most of the F&B brands, especially in the QSR segment, you find out with any brand, you'd understand hardly 5 or 6 items of their menu would bring more than 80% of the revenue. But still the franchisee owners are obligated to maintain raw material for all the other items which are slow movers. So for us, we keep continuously identifying the star runners and make sure we only have limited menu throughout the year. So our change of menu is very fast, and I'll tell you how. So we have something called digital display. If you go out into the market right now, you would find only McDonald's and Taco Bell who's following this digital display. Each of their TV screen is connected to internet, IoT of things. And if you observe, mostly they don't have printed menus. That brings in freedom or flexibility or speed to update the menu, whether it is the item or the price or pulling back an unavailable item. So we mix the concept of Dujor, digital menu, and just-in-time inventory. Again, we took this, getting inspired from the world-class brands like Walmart and Costco on how they shelf their items with stock without having go downs. So this is the biggest advantage with our brand compared to our peers. None of our franchisee owner has to analyze every month, understanding how much sale they are doing, what is in their store. I mean, how much stock is in their store, what is getting consumed, how much do they have to order. That itself is a lot of work. So we bring in a cloud POS tool where we can understand data from each of the locations. We know how much stock is lying at your store, what is moving, what is not moving. And we figure out when to bring the next batch of stock and what to bring. And we bring in the stock, we put it in your shelves and without any cost. So if you compare with any of our peers, again, you generally have to pay upfront money to get the raw material, right? So in our case, you don't pay any money. We figure out what to bring, when to bring, and we put the stock at our own cost in your shelves. And we all ask you is to do is give amazing product quality, amazing customer service, and take care of your employees. So here we are responsible to do your sales analysis of each store. Even after selling franchisee, we are throughout the journey with you. And our specialty comes in terms of payments, which brings in more transparency and more clear understanding of the P&L of each store. So all kinds of payments done at each location, whether it is cash, card, UPI, or money from food aggregators, everything goes into an escrow account. We consolidate everything for every 3 days or a week and disperse the amount back to the franchisee owner. And we don't charge any franchisee owner per kg or per liter. We charge a flat rate of 34% plus GST. So how much of a sale you do, all we take is 34%. So we figure out and we handle all the pressure on controlling the cost at back end of the company, but we won't put pressure on the franchisee owner. If you look at any other brand in India, especially in the QSR, no other brand operates in a similar way. So what I'm actually showing you are different segments of OI, which we call operational intelligence, and where we charge only 34%. We give all these services, including in that cost. Nothing comes at an extra cost. And we send out regular mystery customers to each store to understand the actual reality while we can't visit all the stores all the time. And end of the month, we give a performance analysis report to each franchisee owner in helping them understand what's happening, what's going wrong, what's happening right, and how to improve business or sales from there. So broadly, we have two models. We have a mini model that is called ArtSpot, which is 50 to 80 square feet, designed specially for malls or IT parks, which are generally in the aisles of malls. So it'll be a smaller size, lower risk, lower investment, lower deposits, lower manpower, limited menu, but at the same time revenue which matches to that investment model. And at the same time, we have something called Art House, which is a standalone store, which is 500 to 800 square feet, much larger space with a lot more machinery, a lot more menu. But we would cover all the series of drinks in both the locations. And our ArtSpot is will need an investment between 15 to 18 lakhs. Our Art House needs an investment between 30 to 35 lakhs, which includes the franchisee fees as well. And this is our recent media coverage. So this is how our product pictures look like. These are what you're seeing right now on my screen are bubble teas. I'll just show you a few more pictures from our product line. There's a chocolate bubble tea. And you'll see our design language even on our Insta. You can go to the page as well. There's a chocolate angle tea. There's a very interesting series. There's a cheese foam on the top, if you see here. So we recommend not to use a straw or not to shake the drink, but you have to flip and drink it at 45-degree angle so you can sip both the layers at the same time. So there's a kind of little bit of science behind each series as well. This is how our fruit teas will look like. Again, very light and refreshing, not really heavy. And there's our matcha bubble tea. And we have an amazing drink, which is called our dirty mat tea. There's a beautiful dessert drink, quite kind of heavy. You can even skip a meal if you have this drink. And overall, if you see, we are a pure beverage brand. I hope you guys tried a bubble tea before. You generally have tapioca pearls at the bottom, which you chew and drink at the same time. So you really wouldn't need a savory or a sweet as you're having this drink because you're already eating and drinking at the same time. tickets. So yeah, just to give you a few more details, Arshil, so this is end of my presentation. Do you want me to go through the financial model right now?
Yes, Abhishek, we need to take all our audience to our financials also.
Great. So as I told you guys, we have two models, that is Art Spot and Art House. We have 500 ml serving size for urban and 350 ml serving size for tier 2 and tier 3. I'll show you one from each. So if you look at our Art Spot, which requires 50 to 80 square feet, 70 to 20 lakhs on the upside, considering the security deposit for the location as well. So this will give a breakdown on each, on the total investment. So it has different parts to it: retail, store design and stuff, preparation area equipment, finishing area equipment, technology, miscellaneous, franchisee fee and others. The total investment would come to 17 lakhs 14,000 change. And here it will give you, all we are saying is these are the number of tickets you have to do in each location to see the right growth. So we assume with whatever little data we have until now, this location would do at least 40 tickets average per weekday, 55 on weekend, 5 online and 8 online on the weekend. So offline and online tickets, and we're looking at 1,566 average tickets per month. At the size of offline, average order value will be 300 and 350 for online. We're looking at a total sale of 4,79,100, and where it brings us to 57 lakhs yearly revenue. And you would even see the allocation of online, offline here. As I said, we charge 34% plus GST, which comes to 40.12%, and no other charges apart from it. And we don't charge royalty at all. It's 0% royalty with us. I'm sure you can run through peer competitors to understand the numbers as well. We'd be a lot more economic in terms of what we charge. So these are your income projections. If this location does 57 lakhs in revenue per year, that brings to 479 a month. This will be the cost you're paying us, and which you pay only after the sales. If you see here, if you compare with our peers as well, we're taking up more responsibility in terms of generating revenue at your locations, because we believe in making money only after a franchisee is making money. So you have your employee costs, your rentals, power and backup, technology cost, online sales commission, miscellaneous. The total expenditure would be around 45 lakhs in the first year, which brings to around 21.31% profit margin, profit before taxes. So basically, if you run the same numbers for the next 5 years, you'd be looking at your payback period, which is 1 year, 3 months. And here you'd even have in details of a number of employees required, the average salaries, that's 20,000 for employee, for manager, and 15,000 for staff, and your technology breakdown, and all the assumptions taken for rentals, online sales commission, different things like that. So this is our Art Spot, where you'd be looking at 7 to 20 lakhs investment with 1 year, 3 months payback period. At the same time, I'll come to the Art House, which is a standalone store, 500 to 800 square feet, requiring 30 to 40 lakhs as an investment, and again 0% royalty. And this will again give you the breakdown of different things required to set up the location and get operational. So after the breakdown, you're looking at 35,97,000 as the setup cost. And here we're looking at, so generally these standalone stores have to be high streets. We'll even come in terms of helping you with the location. We'll have a lot of data in terms of demographics, average salaries there, average spend capacity, other peer competitors, average order values of other peer competitors. We look at all these different data, and we even recommend locations, and at the same time we can bring extra help to even find a location. I'm sure even Franchisee India has services which can help you with location as well. And here we'd be looking at 50 tickets average per weekday, 90 tickets average per weekend, and these are online. Average order values of 350 and 400 offline and online. We're looking at 8,22,000 as revenue per month, with all the other breakdowns similarly to what I explained before. 84% offline, 15% online, 40% for operational intelligence. If you look at the income statement again here, after all the expenditure, you'd be looking at 75 lakh expenditure in year one, where you'd be generating 98 lakhs as revenue, with around 23% as profit margin. A lot of things, lot of these things will change, based on the actual location, understanding the rentals there. Even here, I took kind of 5, that is 300 rupees per square feet as rental. So I think this will be the game changer to have more better numbers. So we're looking at an average payback period of 1 year, 5 months for this art house. So yeah, so this gives you the detailed understanding of the franchisee financial models. Sure, Franchisee India will help you, take you through all details, all models in detail. I think that's okay. I see a question. What does offline and online ticket mean? Offline tickets are your walk-ins, in-store sales, pickups, curbside delivery. Online tickets are your orders from Swiggy, Zomato, or our own delivery platform.
Thank you so much, Abhishek. Friends, I'll request all of you, whatever questions you have, you may put that in the Q&A box, and we'll take all these questions from Mr. Abhishek. And I'd like to thank you so much, Abhishek. And friends, as you've seen and witnessed, this is a very vibrant, colorful, innovative, and I would say a living brand which touches their community they cater to, and making it also very, very aspirational and relevant, not only to the new age customers, consumers, but equally for the franchise partners. And what I see, they're truly redefining how, bubble tea is being consumed. So, and I also would like to add, they actually live their brand, and all that is evident from their brand ethos, their offering, the kind of detailing they've done on their products, and I would say micro detailing on entire systems and processes, which had been missing in the many other counterparts so far. And unlike many of their counterparts whose model does not really allow them also to garner an exclusive customer base, this is where Madden Company is offering a differentiator by being experiential than just being a transactional brand, and making an engagement with their end users. And this is how any company or a brand would create that brand equity. So very, very clean, minimalistic, and I would say very, very global in terms of their standards. And some of the highlights which I found very worth noting were, first and foremost, I would say their operational intelligence. And this is something I've not seen many franchisors or companies even talking about. And this is the most important part of operating, especially anything with food or otherwise. And they're integrating AI, they're integrating machine learning, cloud-based POS, which we saw and explained very well by Abhishek, and a lot of predictive analysis, which also helps you in not putting too much of inventory or stocks at their outlet. And if you have predictive analysis, you will be able to manage just-in-time inventory from the suppliers. And also a very, very lean SQ management system. And food wastage is one of the most disturbing I would say elements of running and operating a food outlet. And through their SQ management, they're able to minimize, or I would say they're able to put that wastage to zero, and still capable of bringing that turnaround time of brings to about 90 odd seconds is something which is worth noting, which is, I would say, they're improving the efficiency of their operations at the unit level. And equally, they have a very dynamic menu and affordable menu, which also ensures they have a repeat customer, and they have every time they come, they have something new they have to look forward to. So as we saw, this is a franchisee owned and a franchisee operated model, and a complete royalty waive off, which is zero royalty. The entire supply chain is taken care by the company. And there are two models to be offered. One is a small, which is kiosk, about 50 square feet, and the other is bigger, which is 500 square feet. And the investment would range from about 17 lakhs to about 35 odd lakhs for these two models. And also the average sales for these two models would be anything between 4 to 5 for the smaller one, about 8 to 9 lakhs average for the bigger model. So friends, you can keep putting your questions, and I'll take all these questions from Abhishek. While I feel the entire presentation was very, very interesting, all that has been explained very well, and not only explained, I would say very, very educational, which I'm sure a lot of our investors must have not been privy to in the past. So very quickly, Abhishek, while you explained that model, and for friends, you might find it a little difficult to comprehend because we had a lot of Excel sheet explanation on the business model. So very quickly, Abhishek, in simple terms, if you can explain, the breakup of the entire investment. We talked about 50 square feet, and where exactly this investment is going in. What franchise fees are we looking at for these two models? Would you quickly want to give maybe a broader breakup of the entire investment?
Yes. So basically, if you talk about ArtSpot, I think roughly around 4.5 lakhs would go towards the setup of the kiosk, the retail design. And we're working with an amazing agency from Delhi who are specialized in building retail designs. So it's not just that we put any setup. We would really understand. I mean, we understanding aesthetics on how you can even attract customers by a retail design. So 4.5 lakhs would go there. And I think roughly around, say, I'll tell
and
you.
Are these prefabricated?
Yes, and the best part is you can get this prefabricated. Again, an agency from Delhi, they can ship it like IKEA and just attach it like IKEA. And even tomorrow, it's very easy, even if you are moving to another location. So whatever retail, whatever design money we're putting in is going to help the franchisee investor in different ways in the near future. So we're looking at some 50 odd thousand for prep area equipment, which is like induction, blender, or things like that. And finishing area, we're looking at again 2.5 lakh, again, which has different machinery like hot water dispenser or a shaker machine. For example, even here, if you talk about a shaker machine, you would see in bar counters, you can even manually shake a shaker bottle. But we use a machine just to make sure every drink has the consistency in terms of output. So we have few machines like that in the finishing area, and there's roughly around 30,000 investment towards technology like your CCTV cameras or your software, POS software, or your DoJour device, and 15,000 for uniforms and miscellaneous stationery items. And we're looking at 6 lakhs franchisee fee for the ArtSpot, which is 50 to 80 square feet. So there's the high level breakdown of ArtSpot. And Art House, we're looking at 11 lakhs franchisee fee and around 12.5 lakhs for the retail setup. And similar numbers for prep area and finishing area, that's 50,000 and around 3.5 lakhs. It will increase by a lakh or lakh and a half for standalone. And the technology is around 70,000. And then, as I said, the franchise fee is 11 lakhs. So there's the details of ArtSpot and Art House.
Okay, that's very helpful. And friends, we can share complete detail breakup with you to understand where that investment is also going in. But I felt that that was something a lot of our investors wanted to understand at the macro level. And Abhishek, my other question would also be, because if you're looking at a category like bubble tea, globally a very popular category, especially, you mentioned US, UK, it's getting even more popularized now, but started from Asian countries. And you got into a market which was very, very competitive. How do you see the current landscape, and where do you see yourself, positioned amongst the competition, if you think there's a competition? on what you're offering to the market?
Yes, obviously, India is a much tougher competition compared to outside India. But I think the knowledge and understanding, you can't believe the R&D time while we spent in Southeast Asia. We left our 1.5-year kid here for 4 months, and me and my wife were there. So it'll count. It'll kind of sound silly, but I'll tell you, even here, COVID was a blessing in disguise. I think we are 1 or 2 years ahead of a market. I think now people going to Southeast Asian countries for R&D might be difficult, and you actually finding manufacturers. I mean, now we import everything from direct manufacturers. There's no middlemen. One of our core competency today is even imports on how to bring food raw material into India, and at the same time, the time we spent in the US probably gave us edge over technology or understanding technology. And I myself and my wife, we were even cloud engineers before. Okay. So I think we brought in that technology into the business. And as you see, branding is our core. So I think we have different strengths around the business, which will keep us ahead of the competition.
And also, thanks to your background, I believe you work with IBM in US and you worked there for quite some time. And that is what brings you to actually integrate technology in your business model.
Yes, I think as I've went around looking at Indian built brands, I think before 10 years, there were not many Indian brands. I think in the past 5-10 years, now we see a lot of Indian brands, especially into franchising. As I started understanding all these businesses, I saw the systems, automation, IT, these parts were missing. And this is where my strength lies, and to bring in all those things. It took very hard work to bring in all those, but yeah, I think we're doing it successfully. And also considering, because it started at a time when pandemic was just about to hit the market, and most of your operations outlets came in during that time. How do you see the current, I would say, receptiveness of the market to a format like this? And how have you seen maybe, your own consumer base evolving from what you might have also absorbed earlier from other competition present in the market? Are they more, I would say, find it more relevant? They're more, because the kind of look and feel, the branding which I saw, I find that missing in some of the other companies which launched it. So do you find that aspiration coming back and that level of receptiveness in the customer base that we're catering to, and also the receptiveness in terms of the ticket size? You mentioned you're very, very competitive in terms of the pricing that we are charging. So would you want to comment on that, Abhi? And in the meantime, if we can also hold or catch hold of the menu, if we can see typical what are the menu items that we are offering, and typical average ticket price, if that is something that you can also help us go through. Sure, I'll pull that up as we're talking. So yeah, I think there are a lot of questions in your one question. I think the market has been very receptive. A lot of people who were just in India, who don't have the international market exposure, even ask me, what is bubble tea? Is it something to do with chai? But at the same time, I had an amazing market, which are this niche crowd who lived abroad, worked abroad, or traveled abroad, or studied abroad. For them, it is a craze. It's like pizza when it came to India, right? It's not like everybody knew pizza. It took some time for everybody to understand or afford pizza. So, and I think we are appealing to a target audience, where there's a certain crowd which goes to more niche players like Starbucks or anything which is upscale. And at the same time, our drinks are not too pricey. If you look at, I'm pulling up Swiggy right now to show you our menu. And at the same time, I think, COVID kind of made everybody in India, I think after so much that we're becoming health conscious, or people are trying to understand more about what goes in their food or beverages, and see even if they can customize as per their palate. So this is how our menu looks like on Swiggy. For example, there's a coffee bubble tea. Okay, I think I pulled up a location which is not switched on yet.
So which all cities are we currently operating out of?
So right now, we are only in Hyderabad. We just started in November 2019. After 3 months of we starting, the COVID hit us. So again, we spent a lot of time building the technology and all. And now we felt we were ready to get into the market to scale up the brand of business. For example, there's a coffee bubble tea. When you click add, you would see our default is 50% sugar, but at the same time, you can customize your sugar. Now we're introducing dairy or non-dairy, I think by January, where we have customized the raw material again, which can give us that way. Even in the future, we could introduce soy milk and almond milk too. And at the same time, again, by March 2022, you could even choose the temperature of the drink. So it's a slow evolution process. We don't want to confuse customers with too many options at once. So we are slowly in terms of giving more and more customizing options. So these are how our angle teas will look like. And as you've seen, the price, obviously online, the prices can differ a bit more than offline. Offline, the price are a little more cheaper. So these are our pop fruit teas. Right now we are running an offer on pop fruit teas, which is at 150. And we have something called sparkling water. And okay, if you see most of our drinks, you can order the same flavor in 3 variations. That is dirty matcha, matcha bubble tea, and matcha angle tea. So that's where, you know, the lean SKUs come. With little SKUs, you can serve different variations, which appeals to a complete different market segment. Yeah, so this is our menu.
Interesting, Abhishek. And I'll also quickly pick up some questions. You know, I don't see the name a while. So we have covered on the franchise fees and friends, the investment. There are 2 formats. I'll repeat because I see that coming again. So we have 2 formats. 50 square feet is about 17 to 18 lakhs, and 500 square feet would be about 35 lakh onwards kind of an investment. And so the other question, Abhishek, is on the profit percentage per month is what is being asked. And if I can maybe add on to that, would you want to comment on typical operating expenses? And I understand because of the technology piece and IoT, machine learning, all that in place, we don't have too much of dependability on the staff. So typical manpower requirement that we have, what kind of operating expenses do we have at the outlet? Would you be able to quickly, you know, help us in understanding that? And also we are and the initial couple of months might be a little slow on the business. So how long will it take for a potential partner to reach that level of sales that we are projecting?
I'll come from your last question first. When we started the first outlet, we started in Kondapur. It's called Sharat City Mall. Luckily, a lot of immigrant crowd from all over India there. You won't believe we started now November 14th, and by December 31st, we were breaking operational break-even. We didn't have to put in money again anytime. It was taking care of itself, and from there, it slowly came into profits. About the profit percentage, before that, I would like to answer this again. If you typically see our competitors, you have to shell out 1 lakh or 2 lakhs every month in starting off the week to procure the raw material, right? So in our case, you're not doing that. So even if you calculate how much you're saving and the interest on that, that's again a different calculation. But to put average profit margin or profit percentage per month would be around 25-30%. And if you about the expenses, you asked me in both the locations in Artspot and Art House. In the smaller one, if you consider a very good mall, the rent can go up to even 1.2 or 1.3 lakhs. Recently, we have signed up with a franchisee for Inorbit and Hyderabad. The rent is around 1.2. You have malls which even starts from 50 to 60,000 as rental as well. So say you'd be looking around 1.5 lakh as fixed expenditure on the higher side for the smaller version, and say 2.5 as fixed expenditure for the larger format. Again, the rental will change the whole volume. Here, you at least don't have fixed expenditure on the raw material. You're saving that.
Sure. And how much would be the food cost? And typically, you know, what is the food cost in your industry?
So I think, okay, if you look at our peer competitors, I'm not sure if I can take names. I have come across numbers. Anybody of you can directly find out from the market. I heard numbers from 35 to 40% plus GST and royalty between 5 to 8% plus GST. So where, you know, you'd look at numbers at least from 45 to 52% everything put together, including GST, we are only charging a flat rate of 34% plus GST. Whether whether the raw material which we are sending is 100 rupees per kg or 10,000 rupees per kg, it won't change your costing. It's a flat price, and there's no royalty. So comparing to the market, we believe we are at a very competitive price or percentage.
And would there also be some, and where are we procuring all the supplies? The franchise partner would procure all that from you, but are we procuring all that from India? Are we importing some kind of bubble tea from overseas?
Right now, I think we procure at least 95% of raw material from outside India. There's not really much, the quality what we need is not really, the whole ecosystem is not there in India. So I think we have been thorough in terms of understanding the import process, Indian customs, the freights. So we import 95% and the rest 5% is from around India. And we, yes, as you said, we supply directly to the franchisee owner.
And are there any raw material which he also needs to procure at the local level, or there's 100% supply which happens?
100%. We cover end to end. From your cups to your packaging materials to your raw materials to even cleaning solutions. You won't believe how much time we even spend understanding what kind of cleaning solutions McDonald's uses to keep their stores that hygienic. So we supply end to end to the franchisee owner.
And what kind of training would you be able to impart, and how long is the training given to a franchisee is one question. And the other is, typically in a food business, we always expect a partner to be there, round the clock. And considering a lot of manual processes and maybe certain systems that we have put in will reduce that kind of intervention. But still, one question which is on the training, typical training which is provided, and what does that actually translate to? What does it help a prospective partner in? And what would be your guidance on number of hours ideal franchise partners should spend at the outlet?
Right. Amazing question. You club so many questions together, but amazing questions. See, one thing I've observed in India is people just sell the brand and don't really care about the franchisee owner after that. But for us, if you see how we did everything, we only make money after they make money. The raw material is us sitting in their location. We won't get money if they're not making money. So I hope everybody understands the philosophy behind it. And at the same time, if you look, if you come to each question of yours, so we generally recommend a 2-week training program in one of our nearest locations for the franchisee owner and a manager or staff if available. So even this was a very important. It's like any cooking. You take any item, even at your home, you would have different procedures to cook it or different raw materials to cook it. So we looked at simplifying the process of making a drink. It's simple, 4 or 5 steps. Even here in Hyderabad, whenever we have a franchisee inquiry, as just an interactive session, we take them to the store. Without telling them anything, we simply hand over a small flashcard with simple instructions and ask them to try out the drink. And you'd see the deviation will be very less because it's right measurements, right temperatures, 4 or 5 steps to make a drink. So first, it's a 2-week training program, but later we claim it's only a 1-hour training program for anybody in the store because of the simple steps involved in it. And did I miss any question?
No, I think that was, I'm picking because we are already at the top of our, the time. But and one thing, because we're looking at some specific markets, would you want to comment on the markets which are on your priority list to get in? And friends, I see some of you raising your hands. I'll request if you have any questions, please use Q&A. I'll not be able to unmute anyone to ask any questions. So please use Q&A. We'll take up any questions, and any questions which are left unanswered, we'll also request that you would reach out to us. We have Gaurav Arora, who is leading the project at Franchise India, and he and his team would be at your disposal to answer, address, and also connect you to Mr. Abhishek for answering any queries that might have left unanswered. So Abhishek, which are the markets, coming back on the questions, which are the markets we are focusing as a priority?
I think we'd be looking at all the major metropolitan cities in India right now, like Delhi, Noida, Gurugram, or Chandigarh, Mumbai, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, Kolkata, Pune. So all the major cities at this point.
All right. And within South itself, are we also considering multi-unit? Because I feel that can be a very good opportunity, especially for the smaller formats where we can use some strategic location, corporate hubs, offices, even malls for a 50 square feet format where a potential partner can take about 3 to 4 locations together and place these at various strategic locations.
Absolutely, yes. We'd be excited to even work with multi-unit partners anywhere possible.
Sure, great. I'd like to thank you so much, Abhishek. And I'll request Gaurav if you have any closing remark, anything that you want to add. And friends, we have IFM, which we are conducting, which is a discovery day for all of you on 29th of October. So all of you who want to have more information on the brand, please reach out to us and we'll help you with entire docket that you saw today. And you can go through the entire financial dynamics before we bring you on any of these calls. So over to you, Gaurav.
Yeah, thank you, Sonia ma'am. So thanks, Abhishek, for such a lovely presentation. And I would say such a detailed presentation, because what I believe is that while we are interacting with any prospect, or while we are interacting with any consumer who is looking at some kind of a partnership or some kind of an understanding, so three things matter a lot. So first is the information, second is the education, and third is the engagement. So what I believe is that today you have actually given a lot of detailed information and education to the people. So out of 3 steps, we have covered 2 steps, right? So now third is the engagement. So now we have the third step where my team will take care of the inquiries and we will help you get into the engagement with all the prospects who have attended the webinar. So as mentioned by Sonia ma'am, we are conducting a discovery day where will be a no obligation day, and we will be connecting you to Abhishek and his team directly in one-on-one meeting, where you will be discussing on further insight about the business model and the operational intelligence which he is bringing on board, right? So one thing which we have not yet covered in the presentation is that SIS model. So SIS model is also one very important model which we can probably collaborate, because while you talk about the cost to procure a new place and vis-a-vis a cost to basically procure a space in a running outlet. So while we talk about this QSR model, wherein we need just 50 square feet or 70 square feet to start the Mad & Co bubble tea QSR, you can probably collaborate with any retail outlet or any running restaurant or any food court for that matter, in a mall or in a high street, or maybe in a micro market close to your house. And you can probably collaborate with them and start your outlet within no time and within the least possible investment. So what you need is basically one franchise fees and the setup cost, and other cost will be basically in a sharing model with that SIS, with that already running store. So in case you need any help to understand on these different models, right, SIS or the exclusive or the QSR or the food court, we'll be happy to help you. And we have got a real estate team also in our franchisee India, which is going to help you to basically select the right markets for you and right place for you. So what you need to do is that you have to reach to us through our helpline number, through our hotline number. You can either mail us, or you can give us a call, or you can reach us with a WhatsApp, and we'll be happy to assist you and happy to guide you and give you further engagement opportunities with Mad & Co. And looking forward to all the whatever best support we can give from our side. So over to you, Sonia ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much, Gaurav, and thank you once again, Abhishek, for putting in your time and explaining this model to all our investors who have come in. And as a closing remark, last message that you want to give to all the investors who are there listening to you.
Thank you, Franchise India. Thank you, Sonia. Thank you, Gaurav, and thank you everybody for joining in. I think we are quite excited to spread the madness through what we believe in, and I hope you'll partner with us going forward. Thank you.
Yeah, stay insane.
Yes, stay insane. Yes.
Thank you so much, Abhishek. Ashna, can I request you to finally take it up from here, please?
Sure. So thank you so much, Abhishek, for joining in today and rather giving us this opportunity to talk about your brand with all our investors. Thank you so much, Sonia ma'am. Thanks, Gaurav, for joining in today. All the dear friends, you can reach out to us at our business hotline number, which is 97176-83838. We really want you to share your detailed suggestion, feedback with us, because that will definitely help us in improving our process. Connect with us at our different social handles. to get more details, information about different business opportunities. Also, in case you wish to get more expert advice from the management team of Franchise India, join Gaurav sir and Sonia ma'am at their LinkedIn platform. Link we have just shared on the screen. And today, under our Bharat Franchise Show, which is the show which will start at 7 p.m., we are inviting you to join us for Lucknow chapter. This is a 2-hour session specifically designed for all of you so that you understand the journey of top 5 brands we have invited today. These brands represent different verticals, so it's a great chance for you to get the information about these brands. Do registration with us. Registration is free of charge, and you can do that simply by visiting us at the Facebook page where we have shared the registration link. So look forward to have you in our Lucknow chapter under Bharat Franchise Show at 7 p.m. And tomorrow, under our business opportunity of a webinar series, we are bringing again a retail opportunity for all of you. Ginger is the brand. We are inviting the brand team tomorrow. So please do registration to join us 12 p.m. sharp tomorrow. Thank you so much once again for joining in today. Have a great day. Thank you so much.